Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. We have officially started apartment hunting here in Sydney and I wanted to share this journey with you. We have officially started apartment hunting here in Sydney. Actually, we started last week, but it was just so frantic. We jumped right into it. I think we saw about 7 or 8 different apartments and we were just running from place to place, so I didn't really have a chance to document it. But this week we have a better idea of what to expect and what we're looking for. So hopefully I can capture some of that and share it with you in the vlog. I will probably film this over the next few weeks as we look at different apartments so you can get an idea of prices and location here in Sydney. We are currently looking for a new home because the cost of living in Australia is crazy, particularly in Sydney, the biggest major city in Australia. So we're probably going to look for something a little bit further out just so we can put a little bit more towards our first home here, which is the Aussie dream. I know in many parts of the world it's quite common to rent for large parts of your life, but here in Australia it is still quite normal to dream about owning a house, even though it is just so crazy expensive here at the moment. I think the average house price in Sydney is now just over $1 million, and from 10 years ago that is almost 2-3 folds of what it was. It's just crazy. Anyway, I am heading out to go look at a rental inspection, so I'll take you along with me and share what it's like. And I think at the end of the vlog I'll share some lessons learned around apartment hunting and the rental market here in Sydney. Come along on this apartment hunting moving vlog series. Okay, let's head out.
Museum, St. James, Circular Quay.
Guys, I am exhausted. I think we went to go see about 6 or 7 houses. It was so hectic. Every inspection, there were dozens of people. So the rental market in Sydney is just very competitive at the moment. So my homework for tonight is I am going to fill in all of our application forms and see what we come back with. A few of them were like pets will be considered upon application, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully they won't mind a little cavoodle dog, but you just never know. Some landlords prefer not to have pets, which is fine, but it's quite hard to find tenants these days without pets because I feel like everyone has a pet, especially during COVID. Everyone adopted a cat or a dog, so we adopted Cliff during COVID. Going to do the applications online and then hopefully we may hear back early next week. Fingers crossed. Guys, it is Monday and I am working from home today and we're waiting to hear back from the agents on our application. And I remembered something really funny. We had to put in a picture of Clifford, our puppy, when we applied for the rental application. Something also to be mindful of: as soon as you have pets, probably like half the properties don't consider pets. And let me show you the photo that we put in of him, because if we don't get rental properties, we're going to blame the dog. How cute is that? I mean, seriously, how could you not accept that little doggy into your apartment? It has been a journey over the last couple of weeks, apartment hunting here in Sydney, and I wanted to share some of my tips and advice and lessons learned, so hopefully it may be helpful to you if you're thinking about moving to Sydney, or you're currently in the property market, or you're also on a moving journey as well. So I jotted down a couple of tips and advice that I wish I knew before I started. First tip, and this one seems very obvious, but the pictures are never what they seem in real life. There were so many that I went to where it was clearly a picture used from when the very first apartment was built or shown. I just would not risk trying to rent a place without seeing it, or at least having your partner or your friend see it, or just someone in real life actually eyeball the place. I get it that they're trying to rent out these apartments, but ethically, some of the pictures there were very misleading and it's quite disappointing. But just beware, that is definitely the case here in Sydney as well. Another tip is, if you can, try and see inspections during the weekdays. The most popular day to see inspections is Saturday, naturally, because people have more free time, but it is a madhouse on Saturdays. There were times where we were inspecting places with 10 other couples. It was just crazy. And because there are so many people, it just spurs on that competition. On occasions where I did go after work or during my lunch break, it was a bit more relaxed. You could actually have a conversation with the agent and it just wasn't as much pressure trying to literally squeeze your way in through so many other couples. And if you can see something during the week before the weekend, it's more likely that you'll get a bit of a head start in terms of applying for the property. And in many cases, if you apply before the weekend, they may not even show the property the following Saturday. So if you can, try and visit rental properties on non-peak periods. Another hot tip is just do a quick Google search on the agency that is renting out the property, because that's a relationship you will have to have for the next, year or two of when you're living in the place. Anytime there's ever something breaks down and you need to call the agent to come fix it, you want to get a good vibe from the agent as well, because that's who you're going to be dealing with. And there are some agents that I met with that was so shocking in terms of customer service. Some didn't even say hello when you walked into the house. These are the people that you're going to have to write contracts with, negotiate prices with. They have all your personal details. You definitely want to have a good sensing of the agent. I appreciate that they work for the landlord, but you're also a tenant as well, and there should be some duty of care, or at least some sort of professionalism from your agent. You will be so surprised how many agents there were that were just, oh my goodness, just so poor. And having been a landlord, had investment properties before, I'd be so disappointed if they were renting out my house, if that was the customer service that they were giving to my potential tenant. So that's another tip. A quick Google review search will save you a lot of hassle later down the track. Another tip that's most relevant to Sydney is to take public transport when actually going to view the houses, because most people in Sydney do not drive on a day-to-day basis. Most people commute into the city, usually by train or by bus, and it gives you a good idea of how much time it will actually take to commute. For me, a deal breaker was living by a train station. That was one thing I was not going to compromise on. The public transport in Sydney can be so unreliable, and I hate driving unless I have to. So for me, living by a train station was a must. The next tip is to have all your identification documents ready even before you start going to look at houses. So that's things like your driver's license, utility bills, previous tenancy agreements, as well as tenancy ledger, which is like a proof to show that you've been paying your rent on time. Have all that ready even before you start looking, because when you get back home from seeing all these inspections, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually apply. And the first time I did it, it took me so long. It took like 4 or 5 hours because I had to find a lot of these documents or wait for my current agent to give me some of the documents. But if you have all that on hand, it just makes it so much more easier when you actually are ready to apply for a place. So definitely try and have all your documents ready before you even start looking. So those were just some of my tips. Hopefully they're helpful if you're also on a moving journey or if you are looking to relocate to Sydney. I think I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for coming along. Definitely stay tuned for more videos in this moving series, the actual move, unpacking. I'll give an apartment tour. I'm also super excited to do things around decorating. I'll be picking up the keys later tonight, and then we will be moving in the coming days. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day no matter where you're living in the world, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Hello and welcome to the vlog. We just got our keys to our new apartment.